History often repeats itself in the Highline Racing League, and for the past now 5 consecutive seasons, that's been the case. Swamp Motorsports and its winningest ever driver at Daytona did it again, and for the second consecutive season, we are starting at a 1.5-mile circuit off the bat of the World Center of Racing. This is the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and this is race 2 of season 20. Welcome back to coverage live on FTN Broadcasting. My name is David Kreutz. We're glad to have you here. Qualifying is on the move. 125 laps on the table, as currently it is Matthew Rodriguez sitting with the provisional pole. He finds himself up on top right now, only to be usurped by Roberto Ramirez. And the Ramirez team in the 42 goes P1. Dawson Buchanan, like a rocket ship, gets that final lap in, and so he'll take it to the point. Competitive drivers taking time. So far we have 32 registered and 28 have set a lap. There's Josh Chrisman into the number 88. DJ Stagner does it again, gets it up to the top of the board by 27 thousandths. So the man that kicked it off last week with the win finds himself now on the pole. Scott Zellner on his way for another lap. He sits 7th as it stands. Adam Bozzi, he will go 23rd after his laps, and here comes Dylan Wedgwood on the way. Wedgwood across the line, 27th place. His second lap was not validated. Tyler Hampton goes 5th. 1:47 seconds left, only waiting on second place driver of last week, Tom Bourne and Jacob Halm. Take a ride on board with the rookie with some driver telemetry. For Bourne, 31st place on that first lap, so of course he came out the frame. Second place last week, a very impressive run, and only a few thousandths from what could have been his very first win. This second lap has got to be a lot better. Let's see what happens now, as he's got a half a lap to go in his qualifying run. Across the line for Tom Bourne, 31st place, first time, goes up to 9th, so a clear improvement there. Just built up the momentum on the first time around, but he won't be able to match the man who's ahead of him in DJ Stagner. Jacob Halm has not set a time. Dylan Wedgwood still getting his extra practice laps up, and coming across, Wedgwood makes it through again. 179 miles an hour down the front straight. Lap times are all in the 30-second bracket, with the exception of Corey Blevins. It looks like he had a wreck during his qualifying run, and so he wasn't able to get everything out of that Chevrolet Camaro. An unfortunate circumstances with 5 seconds left on the clock. It looks like everyone will fall short again to DJ Stagner. Stagner with the top qualifying time. It's a 30.529 second lap, 27 thousandths quicker than the next best in Dawson Buchanan. .125 laps on the West Coast. We started it off, of course, in Florida, all the way down south and east alike. It'll be different this time around. And the racing style, I mean, it's a huge contrast. You're looking at that intermediate racing, which is so common in stock car racing, but also the fact that we're doing it again after several months away. Daytona, anyone can strap into the car and push 200 on the sim. Takes a little bit more finesse to succeed at the level we're going at in the Highline Racing League with this style of car. Nevertheless, your starting grid has been assembled. Let's get to know those names that populate from top to bottom. DJ Stagner made his name known last week. He took the victory at Daytona, and it's his third in 5 seasons, 5th consecutive for the guys at the swamp. He'll grab the pole again and looks to maybe contend for another title. He'll find himself beside Dawson Buchanan in the Hooters number 4. Dawson chases after his first win. Bronson Stafford in the 61 is back in his sophomore season. 3rd place in qualifying to Roberto Ramirez's 4th. Tyler Hampton in the number 5 goes 5th. Matthew Rodriguez 6th. Jimmy McKee in 7th, and Matt Muir in 8th. Tom Bourne, the rookie, goes up against the best of the best. Scott Zellner, your winningest man, looks for his 23rd win tonight. He will start in P10. 11th place is Joey Chapman, Lucas Lodano P12, Ryan Potter 13th, and Sean Billman is 14th place. With Dylan Poteet, Sebastian Miller, Curtis Granger, and Chad Winstead down the line to P18. 19th and 20th include the Swamp Motorsports man, the 81 of Connor Holden, and the number 8 of Alan Kunman. Alan tonight starting 20th on the day. In the top 10, well, you saw DJ Stagner, but he's got 3 teammates from 10th, or rather 11th to 20th. Final drivers on the day go with Kendall Kerr in the 16. He's making his way back in 21st. Justin Baxter 22nd on his second race. Then you'll have Ty Smith, Terry Brooks, and Toby Wedgwood to end the top 25. Josh Christman, Adam Bozzi, Dylan Wedgwood, Caleb Morrissey, and Colton Gardner wrap up the top 30. With your final 2 drivers, Corey Blevins, the last man to take a time, and Jacob Hamm in the number 44, 32nd and last. He'll ride shotgun on a star-studded field where everyone is set to roll the dice. It might not be a Las Vegas night on the racetrack, but it's pretty clear. 9:30 on the East Coast and about 6:30 on the West Coast. It's getting darker and darker as these summer nights come to an end. The Highline Racing League stakes are high from Sin City. DJ Stagner set to let him know as he will kick off this race from the pole. Conditions are pretty mild, I'd say. 73-degree ambient temperature and a track temp of 86 Fahrenheit. What's pretty good for these drivers? Look at that relative humidity and very mild winds, 31.37%. That's the humidity we're looking at, and it's clear skies all around. So, going to be seeing some constant conditions. They're not going to be changing all too much, and that's going to help out with tire life. Drivers might see a little bit more reason to stretch their stints, which is a possibility here in Las Vegas. A 1.5-mile track. Drivers have about 95 miles in their fuel cell when they're going full out. DJ Stagner, he's got himself a goal, and I think that's an individual goal. He's looking maybe for another championship. Lucas Lodano was able to break out and have an amazing season last year. Got himself 4 wins. And to win the title, he had to end up going up against the best of the best, and Scott Zellner, the winningest man ever, with 22 victories to his name. Lodano had an amazing season. Lucas is creeping up very close to what could be a double-digit career. He's been so good at those road courses, and having that breakout year with 4 wins, of course, elevated him. He's now sitting closer to what was previously the second highest ever achievement, and that was of Jackson Hartman. Hartman is sitting at 8 over his career. Lodano is only 2 wins away from that marker and getting increasingly closer. The expectation is he'll claw in within 1 by the end of year. DJ Stagner, Dawson Buchanan looking at a field of over 30, taking on an intermediate track for the first time this season. Season 20, always about the familiarities. We've come back so many times before for new seasons. We're back at the 1.5 miles. Welcome to Las Vegas. Buchanan high, Stagner low. We are underway in the Nevada desert. Taking a look behind DJ Stagner, he's got himself a car length as Dawson Buchanan runs right behind. Double file all the way out as we get things going. DJ leads the opening lap, but it's contentious from there. Jimmy McKee is moving to the Fords this year. You might notice some team changes. Alan Cutman has taken himself from a full-time Chevrolet club. Now he's got himself in the Toyotas. Jimmy McKee, more of the same. Those guys running under the same banner for several seasons. No longer is that the case. Jimmy McKee now a member of the Four Horsemen, and he's racing alongside the Flying Scotsman and Caleb Morrissey. It's different, but he's still one of the best to do it. McKee, I would say, is one of those drivers who should have a championship under his belt. Season 15, I would say, was his year. The format didn't work out, and Alan Cunman had 2 clutch victories. That's all he needed to put himself over the hill. But McKee has proven that he has the stuff to go out there and win that title. 4 laps in, he's just ahead of the rookie of Tom Bourne. Bourne is an interesting one to watch. You know, Daytona, it's very hard to tell whether or not a driver is going to stay around forever based on their success at the 2.5 miler. Right now, anyway, it looks like he's doing pretty well. I mean, we got a lot of time to go in this race, but qualifying inside the top 10 is a hopeful result for a driver going up against a lot of veterans and an increasing field talent-wise. The depth is there. Dawson Buchanan has been kicking tail on Wednesday nights for Stadium Scene TV, and he's really gotten his reps in. I mean, he, above most of these drivers, has been racing weekly, non-stop, and has only gotten better and better. As such, looks like he's got himself in a position again to prove he's even gotten better here. Second place and running side by side. It looks like mostly 2x2, and this is reminiscent of the real world days with Gen 6. And I don't think that's a good thing for some of these drivers anyway, but this is what drew the criticism of the Gen 6 package. They introduced the lower horsepower look, which is what we're looking at right now. We're coming in at about 550 horsepower. We're pushing about 170 across the track. They introduced it in the 2018 All-Star race, and it looks like close racing. It really does. I mean, look, they're going 3 wide. You got the 77 to the inside. It's Curtis Granger, and he is all the way down to the bottom. And then you got drivers working up top. Everyone's close. But that's the problem. Everyone is close. Not a lot of racing room to go free form, not a lot of ways to break yourself out of this big pack, and it turns every racetrack, at least the intermediates, every of them, to a more similar passion to maybe the new Atlanta, which is, of course, mini super speedway, but it's also very tricky to get around drivers. They're not going full throttle, but they're pretty close to it right now. The tire wear is what's going to differentiate the best of the best to the guys who are going to be filling the back of the pack. DJ right now is held on strong, but look who's coming. It's Tyler Hampton. Hampton side by side now with the number 4 Dawson Buchanan. DJ Stagner right ahead of him, still going to be toe-to-toe, but nobody's gotten side by side yet with the number 64. SSBB Nightwing coming in for the Jonestown Jet. That, of course, being Caleb Morrissey. Tonight, Morrissey qualifies in 29th. He's up to 28th, up 1 on the day to this point in the channel lock machine. Got a new sponsor on the top of that hood, and you can see Smitty's represented on the front end of that number 6. In addition, we got Emma Ox coming in for Adam Bozzi. Adam qualified 27th. He's up to 25th, but he might drop back now as Caleb Morrison gets to his door. And Nick Leach for the number 60. The former champ, Chad Winstead, 18th to 13th. And it looks like tonight, brand new look, and it's the ECU Pirates paint scheme for Chad Winstead. Now for context, ECU, East Carolina University, and always love seeing those alma mater paint schemes, alma mater shall we say. Brant McClendon runs a really similar one on Monday nights with Louisiana State University, and Adam Bozzi, part of a Formula student program for a while in the earlier days of this league on FTN. Remember seeing a paint scheme reminiscent. Different universities, of course, but seeing a lot of that rep, and it looks like for Chad Winstead, more of the same for ECU and their football team. Football season coming up, racing still going, and we're getting some good racing up and ahead. Matt Muir to the inside, that's third for second, if he can get there on Tyler Hampton. Tyler now takes the race lead from DJ Stagner, and you can see the number 61 of Bronson Stafford getting up high on DJ. This is where DJ Stagner does DJ Stagner things. And it might be counterintuitive to say that because he's falling down the lineup, but this is where it gets interesting. Because DJ often has that tendency of pulling himself all the way back into the mid-pack of the field and then coming back up later. He did it last season at Pocono and pulled away an amazing win. Third, coming to the white flag, winning at the checkered, of course. He doesn't have to be the fastest driver the whole race, and it's not just equipment. We always give him that backhanded compliment of saying he might not be the fastest driver, he might have the 5th or 6th best car, but he'll get there at the end. There's another thing he does. He might come in with the best car, but he might not lead every lap. He's out there looking at the different angle, and I think it helps to have strong contending candidates as teammates around him. Ryan Potter has made his moves. He's gone 13th to 10th. Ladato has actually dropped down 2. Give him some time, as he's still in a tight battle. Winstead up the alley. There's Joey Chapman, who has to back off a little bit. And Nick Leach saying school starting Monday all over again. And yeah, back to school all around. End of August, beginning of September. And this is when it's going to become real fun for a lot of these drivers. Again, we got a wide age range. And it looks like, of course, some still in university, and that's the exciting part. Got to balance that with simulation racing. This is time consuming, especially if you want to get real good at it. Tyler Hampton's getting the stretch. You can see him lunging into that corner, and he breaks out well. 1/4 of a second for Hampton. I would say this much. These two, Tyler Hampton and DJ Stagner, have the most impressive streaks of drivers in this series, and ironically, they have it on different ends of the spectrum. Tyler Hampton won every season finale for 3 seasons in a row. That's a year and a half's worth of time. It got broken last season, but he was leading laps in that race as well. DJ has gone 3 for 5 at Daytona, while his team has gone 5 for 5, and he won a Truck Series race in the season 16 Speed Weeks. They are both remarkable when it comes to the way they go at things in terms of that consistency, and it's very hard to get that. It looks like both of them trying to bring something to the table tonight. DJ, of course, continuing his legacy of success. Hampton having a bit of a down season, and he wasn't able to get to victory lane. The closest he was at Bristol when he went up against Stagner. So here they race again. 17 laps in, out of 125, top 2, and now bringing the top 4, they break out. Next you'll have Jimmy McKee leading the greater pack. McKee to the back end of him. Number 4 of Dawson Buchanan still tight, and 3 wide now for Scott Zellner. Zellner, who came second in points last season, he's in the number 2. Sees Ladato, first in points last season, surge up high, and now Ladato trails his teammate Ryan Potter. The Swamp runs 1st, 8th, and 9th for the time being. So, starting to see a little bit of a advancement for that crew. Swamp Motorsports, even if they don't qualify well, the end goal is to get up there, and I think for Lucas Ladato, 12th place may be a little bit below expectations, especially after how well he did in starting and finishing races last season. P12, just getting himself back into the swing of things. Tyler Hampton, low on Bronson Stafford even still. Matt Muir continues to watch. Side by side for second. Jimmy McKee up 2 positions in that Ford Mustang. And then you'll have Dawson Buchanan second down to 7th. He is now 6.5 tenths back on leader Stagner. There's Roberto Ramirez trying to take it 3. Just can't quite get the edge out of it. Tom Bourne is 9th down to 10th in the Ghost Energy Toyota Camry. And it looks like right now, just behind the single digits. Here's Scott Zellner coming up again. Take a ride on board with the number 2. Side by side, Tom Bourne up top, Zellner stuck in the middle. It's close quarters racing, but there is control, and that's the thing that separates these Gen 6 cars from any other package. Admittedly, you're a little bit restricted. You're not putting out as much power, and that means you can't make your way around. Oh, contact! Ryan Potter! That's a big one! Dylan Wedgwood, Terry Brooks! And Chad Winstead, too. Cautions out. Lodato's involved as well. Wow! A pile drive. It starts, contact, Potter, and Curtis Granger. Chad Winstead goes down with Dylan Poteet. Ryan Potter's back end tags another driver in front. Terry Brooks, Chad Winstead involved. Lodato gets into one more, and that looks like Poteet again. Huge hit. Corey Blevins just gets away. Adam Bozzi there was in the thick of the battle. Take a look on board from the number 27's perspective. Winstead went down, and very lucky for Bozzi only to get that side-by-side swipe. That comes with Josh Christman. Cautions out, first of the day, 23 laps in. Number 58 of Baxter gets away cleanly. One more look. As to the inside, Winstead went in number 60. That looks like almost a separate incident. And you'll see right there, he comes right back up. Toby Wedgwood on the high side. Dylan Poteet getting through. There's the number 16 of Kendall Kerr as well. Sweeping up the majority of the core field. Some with minimal damage, others not so much. Ryan Potter, even though he started with that huge ricochet, the front end and the back end are surprisingly mostly in peace. That is quite the shock. DJ Stagner stays out, as does Hampton, as does Holden. Everyone else from Bronson Stafford on down have decided that pit road is the way to go. They all come in, and they're all set to leave. Let's see who wins this race off. 3 holdouts after 24 laps. Jimmy McKee, the far and away winner. Then you'll have Scott Zellner, subsequently Bronson Stafford, Matt Muir, and Roberto Ramirez, with Dawson Buchanan and Tom Bourne wrapping up the top 10. Remainder of the field gets on the way. DJ is going to be on 25 lap older tires. Talking about the numbers here, we are seeing a fall off. DJ's best lap time, a 30.591 second effort, is about 1.2 seconds quicker than his most recent lap under green, coming in at a 31.786 second lap. So tire wear is very real, and it looks like the pavement is grading away. I don't think DJ's going to hang on to this lead much longer than a lap. One lap to green, Stagner to the bottom, Hampton up top, Connor Holden in the 81, also keeping himself out here. So you have swapped teammates, first and second. Stafford in the 61 will line up behind them. He's going to throw himself into the gauntlet. Same goes for Jimmy McKee. Even as the inside has the control car, I would think that the advantage is with the number 9, just because you got 2 guys on old rubber down low, and you got 1 up top. "100 laps to go when we go green." We will have 29 on the lead lap. Lucas Lodato is the last of which officially scored as such, but it looks like he's staying down there. The number 1 of Lodato and the 99 of Ryan Potter. One thing is for certain, they are 100% on pit road, and they're going to stay that way as we go green. iRacing pace car leaves us for the first time tonight. Fred Jones drops in. DJ Stagner gets the impulse. Green flags out. Welcome back to work. It's Stagner. He gets the car length. Now to see how long it takes until the old tires do him in. Stagner gets the jump on that first lap, but already you can see Bronson Stafford, the 61, fanning out. Jimmy McKee hasn't quite been able to get through here. Is the pace being set by these lappers, or the leading guys on new tire just struggling? Let's find out now what they can do. 34-second lap overall for everyone there. DJ and company holding out and keeping the lead might be indicative of another strategy in mind. We might be seeing some of those guys taking fuel instead. And if they took fuel only, then that would explain why they're plateauing on pace. Roberto Ramirez coming up to the top side here. He's now putting the pressure on Connor Holden. And there's Tom Bourne, ninth up to sixth. And he wants a spot in the top 5. Bourne to the bottom, 81 of Holden still there, and it looks like one of our holdouts is going to be taken further back. Bronson Stafford with the advantage, new race leader in the 61, and already 0.3 of a second. That's his edge. So that explains it to you real clear how it's like to be on old rubber. It looks like some drivers might have just gone for fuel. Others, well, not so much. DJ's hanging on to third. And, of course, holding on above that in second. But Tom Bourne might be swift to change that. Bourne is up high, bringing with him Joey Chapman and Matt Muir. The infiltration has begun. Old tire will see its problems. Matt stays up and ahead now, Tyler Hampton, and you're going to see that DJ Stagner is going to find the weaknesses too hard to contain. He's now got to do double defense. The 98 of Joey Chapman right behind, the 96 of Matt Muir. And there you see that big stack up. Dawson Buchanan coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can't get around Stagner. Dawson now has to surge by all the way to the bottom. They'll take the apron. That's the only route through. DJ Stagner sent to the middle. Tyler Hampton watching with Morrissey. All the while here, Joey Chapman, DJ Stagner, Dawson Buchanan. You'll see the 64 split 3. And that stack up on the inside could have been disastrous there. I mean, this is what happens. Hampton and Stagner alike are much slower now through the corners. This is the only thing about those 550 horsepower packages. When you get to the point where the tires are gone, you really have to feather the throttle because throttle application ends up being a big deal. Doesn't start that way. When the rubber is gone and you're drifting up the track, even though the speeds not be as high as other types of stock car, like the Gen 4 or the cars of tomorrow, right now, that's everything you've got. That throttle application and how well you can get down to the optimal groove. Stagner is fading. Josh Christman wants his entry into the top 10. He'll go side by side with DJ to take it. Stagner very well may be playing the long game. And as it stands, the 64 still right behind the top 10. Hampton has fallen back, and it looks like Connor Holden is in a completely different sphere. He is in 21st. I mean, that just goes to show if you don't have the stuff to hold on to begin with, you might fade back. Holden, a multi-time race winner over the past year and a half, even he is struggling here, and it looks like Las Vegas not treating him all too kindly. He was the first one thrown into the pack as he was third of the 3 holdouts. And that difference of not even having clean air clearly shows. Bronson Stafford and Tom Bourne leading laps for the first time. We got the rookies, or rather, the sophomore and the rookie, 1-2. Bronson leading Tom. Take a look on board with the number 61. Bourne stays within about a car length and a half. Hasn't quite got the distance or the stuff to make it up there just yet. Stafford really breaking out on this early run. Going down to pit road and decide to make the call to jump in, get down, get new tires, and roll back out. And that's how you get yourself into the position to lead the way, making those maybe risky but necessary calls to take that 61 team to the next level. The main pack is fanned out, largely single file, and it looks like it goes down now to 21st place, and Tyler Hampton. DJ Stagner's dropped down to 20th, and then you'll see a 2.5 second gap. That leaves you with Connor Holden and company. Holden's got himself Sean Billman, also to latch onto. Billman has faded further back himself, and then you'll see Jimmy McKee and Corey Blevins. Corey started 31st tonight. He has not had the best of nights so far, and it looks like those struggles are very real, even beyond qualifying. For Blevins, 31st place, absolutely not where he'd like to be, and we've seen some great runs out of him over the last season and a half. Again, the improvements have been constant for the Bristol Season 15 race winner. Right now, it looks like whatever this race got off to the wrong foot. As side by side, we'll have her new race leader, Caleb Morrissey, coming up on Tom Bourne. The Jonestown Jet now is in the mix, and he skates up high as Tom Bourne tries to take back second and make it his own. Crossover, Morrissey to the inside. Caleb gets it down low. And a very quick move for the channel lock number 6, but it looks like right now he doesn't quite have the stuff to take that pass fully. Tom Bourne takes second, makes it his own again. Matt Muir is in 4th. Roberto Ramirez is in 5th. Joey Chapman is 11th, up to 6th, gaining 5 places on the night. Second down to 7th, Dawson Buchanan, but of the top 10, your biggest mover has gained 17. That is Josh Christman. Josh is getting the most out of this new strategy, and that, of course, comes in the fact that he's taken the new rubber and he's gotten himself track position. Confident on pit road, and that means a lot. Josh is on the verge of what could be his very first top 10 finish and only his second start. And for the Ancient World number 86, that'll be a wonderful way to start his career. That's the end goal, 40 laps in. Halfway marker coming in at lap number 62 tonight. Majority of the field to pit road at lap 25, which means our pit window is coming in from about lap 80 to lap 100. That's, of course, if we stay under green. A caution under yellow, anywhere from 60 to 80, that's very likely going to bring us to a split decision. I think some drivers in the back of the field would then go down and in, but I don't think everyone would. If it's a little bit later, absolutely. But otherwise, for the time being, I think you're going to see some split calls until far beyond the halfway point and toward the 2/3 or 3/4 mark. That's what drivers are going to be definitively like, this is the right thing to do, or this is not the right thing to do. Consensus comes with time. You're going to see different calls if there's a caution at lap 45 compared to if there was at lap number 75. And I think that's just a matter of fact with this intermediate style of racing. Dawson down low. He'll go side by side with the 72 Matt Muir once again, and he'll take the middle group, can't quite make the pass. Double file behind him, Dylan Wedgwood now up to 10th. Josh Christman for 8th. Joey Chapman is fighting as well. Chapman gets sent back to P10 as it's 9th for Wedgwood. The Wedgwoods in full effect as well tonight, because you've got Toby and Dylan on the track. Toby Wedgwood running now up 9 places from where he began. He runs in 14th place, so he too is getting up there, and you got the family affair in full effect. Chad Winstead has gotten some damage repaired, and it looks like he's still vying for a top 15 effort. Side by side, Adam Bozzi just ahead. So it's double file further back, but the leaders seem to be pretty well decided amongst each other. Bronson Stafford for certain has gotten himself away. Tom Bourne, 9th up to 2nd. Caleb Morrissey, P29 to P3. The biggest mover now in the top 10 as he has usurped Josh Christman and Dylan Wedgwood alike. In the top 10, we have 3 drivers who qualified outside the top 25. Of course, that's not all too often the case, and it looks like right now everything's being figured out. Caleb Morrissey barely hanging on to being a top 30 driver in qualifying. And it looks like the exact opposite of his qualifying performance has been his race pace. He found himself fourth to last to get things going. Now he finds himself third overall. So flipping the script in what has been one of the longer runs of the night, it is now coming up on that point of being about even from where we started. The end goal, go green and go the distance. 46 laps in out of 125. Josh Christman, 26th up to 6th. He stayed that way. Dylan Wedgwood is hanging on to a top 10 spot and has been firmly contested. Here comes another of the guys for the swamp. Sebastian Miller. Haven't talked about him all too much yet. You saw Lodato, you saw Potter, and you saw Stagner in the top 10. Now that they're all out of it, there's only one that remains, and that will be the number 83. Miller, the one-time race winner, eyes his second, as second place is being eyed by Caleb Morrissey. Caleb down low. Tom Bourne shot up top. Morrissey with that move, however, can't stick the landing off of 2. Slides up high again. Morrissey for 4th and 5th. Now let's Dawson Buchanan have a chance. Buchanan on the bottom while Morrissey skates out of line. Not going to help out the 6th team. It's not a race over moment, but clearly not what he'd like to see. Josh Christman is coming up, and Josh is looking better and better, up to a race-high 6th for the number 86 team. He's eyeing Buchanan, and Dawson's going to block him and box him in, but it's not going to be by choice. Dawson slides back, Christman slides forward, and they meet each other in the middle. Literally speaking, it's going to be Josh in the middle of the track, and Buchanan, no choice but to try and move up higher here and move him out of that optimal groove. Roberto Ramirez coming up. Roberto chasing after Josh. Adam Bozzi with Dawson Buchanan. Adam, also a great mover now, 27th up to 8th. So, in the top 10, you got your 27th, 28th, and 29th qualifiers, and previously your 26th man was there as well. And it looks like now it's going to be all 4 of them, as Adam Bozzi scrapes across the line to stay ahead of Wedgwood and Seb Miller. The underdogs are coming out to play tonight. Qualifying doesn't mean everything. Now, Dawson Buchanan, though, tries to fend off Christman again. Josh stays tight. All the way back, it's going to be the 98 of Joey Chapman fighting with Toby Wedgwood. That's for 14th. Meanwhile, side by side, Caleb Morrissey. Morrissey's got Christman right there. Matt Muir might also have to watch out here. The 72 team has some competition in the form of Morrissey. While Josh lays down the pressure for the number 6, the 72 could be passed as well. But who of them will try to pass Matt? Muir now has a good view in his rear view of this fight. Perhaps the best seat in the house. Oh, contact! Buchanan once, twice into the wall. Morrissey gets the run and now goes side by side for 3rd. Caleb Morrissey would like to enter the podium. He would do so with force. Caleb can't quite get it into 1 and 2, but at the line he was only 51 thousandths of a second behind. Blocking Josh. Can't quite get there. Josh gets the outside. Caleb gets the inner groove. So far, Morrissey has struggled immensely when it comes to working the inside and getting off the corner well. So hopefully, anyway, for Caleb Morrissey, he'll figure that out, as it looks like that's really what's cost him the most. As high as 2nd and is gone for the race lead. Morrissey stays in the top 10, but is this aggressive playstyle going to help him with a long green flag run? Caleb is going out there outright for wins, and he's told us this before. He put on a show in season 17 and 18 looking for intermediate wins and doing so by all means necessary. And he knows that when it is the heat of the moment, he'll go for it. Not a driver afraid to make those lunges or run those alternate calls. The thing is, Morrissey so far, he has seen immense success in making things happen during the middle of races. You'll see him run inside the podium in the middle stage like where we are right now, but when it comes to the end, he's not always there. And that's, of course, when they count the finishing order, so you can't just fade away and expect to perform well race after race, week after week. That's the big Achilles heel. He can get up there and he can work the alternate strategy, but finishing execution means the most. Take a ride on board Morrissey through 1 and 2. Trying to go for a quick crossover there on Dawson Buchanan. It will be for 6th. Caleb stays right behind. Side by side, though, for the race lead. Bronson Stafford still holds it, but Tom Bourne is there. Bourne running in 2nd as he finished last week and showing slowly but surely he can indeed be the real deal. The only driver keeping him at bay is making his first start of the season here, so inexperience doesn't mean you're going to fail. Side by side for the first time tonight for Tom Bourne, looking for the race lead. He'll try it again, gets up top there, all the way to the ceiling of the circuit, but it doesn't produce much. This crossover attempt might to the line and to the back end of Tom Bourne. Well, nobody is, but for Bronson Stafford, he's got the 96 all over him. Coming closer to what is going to be the halfway point of this race, lap number 62 of 125. Stafford scrapes the outside wall. He's really lucky that didn't hamper him. He'll take an easy approach in a 3. That won't concern him any longer. Tom Bourne with an average finish of 2.0 for his entire career. All 250 miles and all one race of it. Who's to think that he could actually race it tonight or remain the exact same with where he's running? And perhaps the most exciting rookie to break onto the scene since, I would say, Tyler Hampton. Hampton really put the hype out for himself by winning on debut in the season 16 finale. That's the type of expectation that's impossible to follow. A win is very hard to follow because you're expected to just keep on winning. Bourne set it a little bit lower for himself, those expectations, but he also set them pretty high, finishing 2nd at Daytona. So you pick your poison there. Hampton came out with a win and went into his rookie season with a win in a 100% win rate, which is unbelievable. For Bourne, he's already got a 100% podium rate, and he would like to lead another lap. Here comes Tom Bourne with a shaky Bronson Stafford right beside him. Through 3 and 4, let's see who gets it. Looks like advantage Stafford again. The edge is still with the 61, but it doesn't mean this fight is over. Tom Bourne remains very close, and it's that margin that will continue to creep up on you if you're the 61 of Stafford here. He is not in a safe position to back off or really let go of what he's got right now. He's got to keep on pushing. The end goal, I would think, is to run until lap 90 or so, then head down to pit road. We might even see earlier, like the 80s again, just so we get a longer run in. But here comes Matt Muir. Tom Bourne put down so much pressure, it looks like he's the one who's due to pop. Muir for P2, and it could be Josh Christman to take 3rd. Drivers have last gone into pit road about 40 laps ago, so they're expected to come in during the 80s based on those metrics. Pit road window going to open at about lap number 75, and it's expected that the majority of the field will come in by lap 90 in that case. Matt Muir with a huge run on Tom Bourne there, and it looks like with all the work he did to get up to Stafford and it not working out his way, the dirty air and the worn out equipment is going to start to compound, and it does not help a driver when that stuff starts to replicate itself. Halfway down, halfway remaining. Bronson Stafford coming across the line, and so now he's got himself a very real chance of winning it. I mean, you got to talk about his numbers. You talk about Bourne, you talk about Matt Muir or DJ Stagner, an earlier leader. How about the man who's now up in front and doing the job of the 61, and he's back on defense. Tom Bourne puts down the pressure, gets low, and even as he sticks it in the optimal groove, he makes it work. Look at that. Bronson Stafford gets away again. Josh Chrisman getting as high as 4th, but now dropping back to 6th. Buchanan trying to take another one from him. Battle for P5. You're watching it hang in the balance of wherever the 86 goes. Sebastian Miller up to 7th place on Adam Bozzi here. And as Seb does so, he'll take that spot pretty simply. Josh Chrisman is up next. Maybe he'll be attacked for spot, but the 83 will lie back here. That's the question when you're in the leading group as well. How aggressive do you go when you're already this far ahead of the majority of the pack? We have 10 drivers, 11, I would say, within 2 seconds. Then we have 14 within 3. We have 16 within 5 seconds, and 18 within 7. You would have to go back then to 21st place within 15 seconds, and Ty Smith is the final man on the lead lap right now. He would be the next up to go 1 lap down, as his teammate DJ Stagner already is. Mind you, you know what that means. We're already seeing strategy come into play. DJ, as did Jimmy McKee, has already decided to bite the bullet and head in. Ryan Potter, more of the same, as he went down into pit road very early, but he did so due to damage. DJ Stagner right now doing something different. He's with Tyler Hampton and Scott Zellner on that note. So you got some of the most successful drivers in this field deciding, hey, we want to go at it this way. That's interesting to see. They're going in very early, and the undercut of undercuts has been made in the back of the field for now. Meanwhile, Tom Bourne tries, fails, can't get it from Stafford again. Will he be a bridesmaid for the 2nd consecutive week? That's the question. Roberto Ramirez is in 5th, and with him is the 72 of Tom Bourne. Chad Winstead watches and awaits the arrival of Seb Miller. He'll put that good block down. Adam Bozzi staying in 9th. Adam is 27th up to 9th. Again, remarkable. Caleb Morrissey, 29th to 10th, decides this is the time. At lap number 68, he'll head into pit road. Heading to lap 69, another group. Bronson Stafford still holding on, but Tom Bourne is keeping him on all toes. I mean, look at the way they're going at each other. Not a lot of contact. There was a nudge there. There definitely was, but they're keeping it clean. Tire fall off is as real as it gets. These drivers are now running nearly 32-second long laps. Mind you, in qualifying, 30.5 was the general benchmark. Second, Buchanan trying to take it from Bourne. Dawson qualified P2, mind you, and right now, 2 of your top 3 drivers from qualifying are still in the podium. Ooh, big shakeup. That's going to be Seb Miller. Miller lucky to get out of that one. Take a replay through the corners on board to see how he did it with his handwork. Clamped the wall, and luckily a very clean exit for him out of it. It looks like, at least in the driver's perspective, but man, he gave us a little bit of a scare there, I would say. Dawson Buchanan hang on to Tom Bourne. Looks like it just does not work out. People have tried, and it looks like people have failed. Tom Bourne remains P2, but that keeps Stafford in first because it's another distraction for his rival in the 96. .54 laps to go. Coming through the mid-70s here, looking at that fuel tank and the expectations, we're still seeing a 60-plus lap run as most likely the benchmark to go in. Again, that's about 90 miles here, so you're coming up on the very end of that fuel cap, and so you can't push it any further. As such, with that being said, it's going to be probably a 45 down to 35 lap run. It could be anywhere in that range when drivers go down and in, so you have final sprint to the finish line. Stafford having this control of the first time he goes to pit road under green is huge. Of course, you got the clean air, and it also means that you set the tone. If all these drivers decide to stay out as long as possible, it means they're all, basically speaking, going to end up going in at the same time. As a result, Stafford doesn't have to concern himself about playing any special games. He is the one who controls the games behind, and if he goes in, you're likely going to see people who follow, and even if they don't immediately follow, you know what they're going to do. They're going to end up working alongside each other to go in response. Being the leader of the field is the ringleader of the show, and if we call strategy a game, he's the one who's playing it better than anyone else in that regard. Side by side between Matt Muir and Dawson Buchanan. That is for third, advantage Dawson at the line. Roberto Ramirez trails back. Matt Muir in the 72 drops to the bottom. And as Matt does so, Chad Winstead comes in. Winstead, despite the damage he accrued in that big yellow flag, has not only been able to put himself back par for qualifying, he qualified 18th, but he's made his way up 12 positions on that number, and now might be able to go for his 13th. Chad Winstead proved that in actuality, the damage is not a race ender if you can repair some of it and get back in the right state of mind as a driver. Wonderful from Chad Winstead as he goes after P7. Tom Bourne getting by one of those lapped guys, and that looked to be way further back. One put lap down. Not going to have to worry about that at all. Josh Christman hanging on as the final driver now of this main pack. He's within a second of the leader. Only now 8 drivers can say that. And then you look behind, you got Sebastian Miller, who is about a second further behind in that respect. Miller in 9th, 2.5 back on leader Stafford. Curtis Granger in 10th, Dylan Wedgwood 11th, Dylan Poteet 12th. Poteet really in his own world here. He is 2 seconds behind the next closest driver ahead, and behind him, he doesn't have to worry about Joey Chapman nor Alan Kunman. They're too far away, but likewise, getting up to Dylan Wedgwood is basically impossible. That's only because right now he just doesn't have the draft, and he doesn't have anyone to work with. Any cooperation would help, but he doesn't have anyone to cooperate with, and so he's isolated. Winstead looking now for 4th place. He's got damage, mind you. Very visible damage on the front and on the left side. Somebody told him that he can keep on going, and whoever did, well, it might have even been himself. He is listening to the fullest extent. No reason to quit now for Winstead, who's on the up and up in the highest spot. He's running all night long, even with the repairs being done. He might not have a perfect car, but he's got it better than he's had all night long. Second down to third. Dawson Buchanan's day far from disappointment, but him being behind Tom Bourne for so long, I bet it's been aggravating. Top 3 remaining in formation. They've controlled this full run. Interested to see what's going to happen for the guys like Stagner or Scott Zellner or Tyler Hampton. Right now, Hampton runs in 19th, and Stagner finds himself 2 laps down, so strategically, things haven't worked out for DJ. It looks like that first caution setting him for a loop, and now he's way back on where he would like to be. 26th place. Being multiple laps down is massively problematic. As a result, I don't think he's going to be in the game no matter what. But Tyler Hampton, Caleb Morrissey, Adam Bozzi, or Scott Zellner, well, those are drivers to consider. They're all just 1 lap down, and if they get back on the lead lap, which is very likely for someone like Hampton, well, they're not going to be in a game-over position. That time by, Hampton ran a 31.473. Bronson Stafford was 0.2 of a second slower. But again, that tire fall off in the first 25 laps compared to the next 40, it's marginal after those first laps. You lose a lot to begin with. You're losing several tenths of a second. You're losing at one point in those first 25 laps, about a tenth of a second per lap in the middle phase where the tire wear really comes in. Then it becomes more of a plateau. Here comes Bronson Stafford and Tom Bourne to pit road. That'll leave out Chad Winstead to take the race lead. And coming in with them, you'll watch behind, it's going to be Matt Muir. Leaders to pit road under green with 43 laps remaining as Winstead is now up in front. Winstead has Buchanan, Ramirez, Baxter, and Curtis Granger. To the pit road entryway, 1, 2, 3, Winstead, Buchanan, Baxter, all as one. Roberto Ramirez now remains out, but look who's ahead of him, Tyler Hampton. Hampton now is back on the lead lap, and it looks like he's got a chance to take the race lead as such. He's going to cycle, I'm thinking, ahead of everyone overall. Watching to see what happens now for Dawson Buchanan. Dawson remains on pit road, as does Chad Winstead. Lucas Lodato is set to now cycle by, but you got to watch out for the leader of them all, Tyler Hampton. The number 5 makes it by all those on pit road, and it is not even a competition. Tyler Hampton up another set of spots. Curtis Granger, new race leader, and right now with Winstead to pit road and on his way out, it appears that all anyone can do is watch, as Tyler Hampton is set to at least temporarily reclaim the top spot. Curtis Granger to pit road. Curtis coming in for his one and only stop, as is Dylan Wedgwood. Josh Christman now usurps the top spot, and for the majority of the field, they're off the lead lap. Looking at only 9 on the lead lap down to Caleb Morrissey, Hampton being 8th, and it looks like Tyler is the leader of the new tire strategy. Granted, thanks to a massive undercut, but he has the edge now for certain. Tyler's now watching as more of the holdouts come in. Alan Cummin has called his shot. He'll be to pit road. The number 8 is on the way with Mobile One sponsorship. You see him there. Then, of course, you've got Corey Blevins staying out here, 31st up to 5th. He has not decided to make it in just yet. He'll be one of the last holdouts. Josh Christman, he'll concede. 39 laps to go. The call for the 86 is made, and so he's got himself down and in to end the night. That leaves Corey Blevins, the one and only remaining holdout of the field. For Blevins, he's put in 63 laps to this point. That will be it. Longest stint of the night. More than half of this race. Corey Blevins bows down. Mind you, that comes in at 95 miles on the dot. And Blevins, he runs the fuel load dry. Tyler Hampton, new race leader. He last went down to pit road 24 laps ago. He's going to be on a very, very tight call. Keep in mind, he's expecting to go for a 62-lap run, and the only driver that we've seen hit above 60 comfortably, he just went down to pit road after 63. That, of course, Blevins, he sets the example. Meanwhile, Bronson Stafford is only 5.5 seconds behind Tyler Hampton, and with younger rubber and a lot more pace, it's clear he's on the up and up. Bronson making it by Bozzi, one of the guys who went for that early undercut. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and just like that, Stafford takes the podium. But as he takes the podium, look who takes 4th. Tom Bourne, he's right there. Look who's right behind them for 5th. Dawson Buchanan. The 1, 2, 3 combination is back again, and now it looks like they've got themselves another spot. This is the new podium. Most likely the podium that's going to run to the finish line and get away from everyone. They've cut 2 seconds on Hampton in the last 2 laps. 36 laps to go. Now this is unbelievable. You've got these 3, who all of which have never won a Premier Series race. What's going to happen if they go at it, and they will go at it, mind you, but what's going to happen when they go at it? This is something that has never happened before for any of these guys in such a clear position. Well, Tom Bourne was close in second place just last week, but I don't even know if he anticipated to be that close to the race win. It came his way. He made the most of the opportunity, yes, but to say that he might have expected it coming in, I would be hard-pressed to agree with that. 35 laps to go, of course, now. He's chasing after your current second-place driver with the leadership of Bronson Stafford. Stafford takes them all down the line. Caleb Morrissey, no hope but to concede. Buchanan looks at Tom Bourne again for a spot. He's going to send Bourne a little higher. The middle groove has worked out well for the leaders so far, at least when they're largely single file. In side-by-side conquest, the middle is absolutely not where you want to be. The high side and the low groove in the three-wide situation have been better. DJ Stagner got swept up, and that was basically the end of his race. Otherwise, though, the bottom two grooves have been pretty well in isolation. Pretty well working anyway. Caution's out. Second of the day, we've got trouble. Take a look back as it looks like it's down the front straight. Josh Christman. Let's see what happened. You can see the backside of that 86 is damaged. Now to find the reason. Contact with Joey Chapman. And it looks like battling in the mid-pack gets a little too tense. Joey here with Matthew Rodriguez and Alan Cunman, as well as Josh Christman. And the 98 of Chapman was up and ahead at the time of the incident. Chapman goes up high. Lucas Lozano's there. Not enough space. Comes down to Christman. Hits Rodriguez and comes back up the track. Yellow flag is out. And Kendall Curry able to sweep away from it. All the while, Christman gets in the wall. And smoke show from Joey Chapman. So the 98 of Chapman, the 86 of Christman, they get hit the worst, while the 0-1 of Matthew Rodriguez gets away for the most part. Hampton, and effectively speaking, the rest of the field head down to pit road now to see the race out. As holdouts are a thing of the past, we'll have less than 30 laps to go to finish this race. Not a lot of time until the finishing touches are placed. Tyler Hampton, it's all him. Stafford, Bourne, Buchanan, Muir, Baxter, Ramirez, and company stay out as holdouts. So the top 10 is holdouts. Then you got Caleb Morrissey, Winstead, Bozzi, and McKee for the top 15. So, a lot of drivers confident in what they just got, and they're taking the track position over new rubber. Split decisions with 30 laps to go. And it's the first time we've seen such a clear divide from respective parties. '61 of Bronson Stafford understands one thing. This has been his race to this point. He does not want to let someone like Tom Bourne take it away. Bourne has been, for his, of course, entire night, remarkably close. And while he's led briefly, he's led for a few moments, he has not yet led a single lap. That's the differentiator. While he's flickered up in front, very quickly, from time to time, to hold it down to the start-finish line has been his biggest trouble. Coming to one lap to green, this time by Justin Baxter, another rookie, and another driver who's looking for a first career win is in fourth. Matt Muir, same goes. You got your top 5 drivers, all of which who have not yet won in the Premier Series, and they're all looking for it. And the top 3 of this night has been dominated by drivers who have never yet won. Very likely a first-timer is bred from a situation like this. "29 laps remain when we go green at the hands of Stafford." Additionally, interesting calls have been made by those, of course, who went down to pit road. Tyler Hampton, the race leader, off of pit road. I mean, he's going to start this one in 11th. Then from there, you're going to have Caleb Morrissey working with them, as is Dylan Wedgwood up in front. One extra lap until we go green to sort things out. We'll go green now, 28 laps to go. Hampton is up high. He's going to lead all those who get things moving. You got the Wedgwoods separate in front and behind the 5 car. Matter of fact, Toby Wedgwood is beside Hampton. Dylan is ahead. You got Shad Winstead. Winstead 18th up to 14th with some of that damage repaired. Terrell Dancy looking for the number 60 to pull through. Winstead keeping it going. Bronson Stafford and Dawson Buchanan plan to deliver. Going to be Tom Bourne running third. Baxter now with them on the second row and fourth. iRacing official pace car ducks down. It's all Stafford for our second restart of the night. We went more than half this race under green. Now time to finish it with another sprint. Green flags out for 28 laps to go. One down to the inside and Alan Cunman, an immediate push. 3 wide. He'll get shoved down. How do they save it? Ramirez gets shot up to the top himself. Middle 3. It's Miller. Luckily they all come through. Just as close as they can get it. This is what happens. Low horsepower, but it's as high as it can be. Tension-wise, every driver knows stakes are high now. This is it. Got him 3 wide, multiple grooves down the line. Caleb Morrissey in the mix. Down the back straight, same goes. Look on board now with Alan Cunman. Cunman shot it down 3 before anyone else. Roberto Ramirez watching as one drifts behind to 77 of Curtis Granger. He'll head through the grass. Luckily, nobody else involved. We stay green. That was close. That's the wreck. Kendall Kerr involved. Yellow flags out at lap 100. As Granger saves himself, Winstead hit by Kerr. Then Kendall comes up and collects Josh Christman. Cautions out. 2-car incident. Yellow flag flies. Take a ride on board with the 86 as the chaos ensues. Now Josh got by, so to clarify there, the 86 dropped to the bottom. And one more look back, there's Roberto Ramirez getting out of the way. There's Colton Gardner, there's DJ Stagner. Kendall Kerr catches a hit. From Kerr's perspective, Winstead, and he gets tagged. Kendall scrapes the wall pretty badly. I don't know if that's going to be game over for the 16 team as Toby Wedgwood gets off the track from this one. Too little room for 2 drivers at once. Cautions out. 3rd time today. 2nd in 10 laps, unfortunately. Perhaps seeing more trouble brewing at the end of this race than what we've seen for the majority of the night. That would be a shame. Only one overtime attempt available if things get really dicey. Two laps to green this time by. 24 laps to go live on FTN Broadcasting, as of course as it is for each and every race. The action is brought to you thanks to iRacing Motorsport Simulations. For more than 17 years right now, of course, going through that 17th, iRacing is above all else for online motorsport racing, and they're bringing the action to consoles with NASCAR 25 coming this October. If you'd like the real deal and the best simulation experience on the internet, visit iRacing.com and learn how to register today. Summer discounts of up to 64% are available through the end of this month. Check them out. It's a remarkable deal. Until then, we'll be right back after a brief message from our friends at iRacing. Don't switch channels here. 24 laps to go. The most exciting racing is right after this. We'll return after a message from our friends at iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
One lap to green, 22 laps to go. Coming toward the tail end of this one with Bronson Stafford, Tom Board, and Dawson Buchanan maintaining as the big three. For the next few laps, we're going to crank it up with Whiplash Sim Cams, the best iRacing camera platform. And if you want to try them out yourself, you can do so for absolutely free. Their Discord server provides trial camera packages at no cost to anyone on iRacing. And once you buy them, they're yours. $5 a piece for the TV quality that we get at FTN. It's a steal no matter what. Of course, any broadcaster of any experience level, visit Whiplash Sim Cams today on their social medias. We'd like to thank Andrew and the Pit Stop TV crew for inviting us to the Whiplash family. And now, with 22 laps to go, the best angles are necessary for what's been the best battle, of course, of rookies this year. The big three, all drivers looking for their very first win. Buchanan falters there. We're back under green from Sin City. Let's crank it up. Yellow flag is out with 21 laps to go. So with that said, let's take a look back, find out what happened. It's your fourth of the night. Yellows are starting to stack. Caution's out, watch this. Sean Billman was in the mix at the time of the incident, and it looks like he drops down the ladder. Three wide and four wide, in fact, when Dylan Wedgwood got shot up the track and brutally hits 0-6 of Billman. Take a look on board with Sean there. Nothing he could do, and there's no way to react that fast as the 14 was tipping and tilting to the left side, ricocheted back with immediate force. slam. Unfortunately, nothing that could be done. And look at Billman's front end. Sean is destroyed. Tries to limp it around, but he currently sits in pit road. As you'll see there, Tom Bourne, Dawson Buchanan opting to stay out, but not the call made by Bronson Stafford. So we're starting to see that divide again. Stafford in the 61 wins the race off. Then it'll be Matt Muir and Tom Bourne. But some holdouts. I mean, now you've got Dawson Buchanan, Caleb Morrissey, Alan Kunman, Sebastian Miller. Top 15 holding out one way or another. Look out for DJ Stagner. Look at his number here. 13th place might not be the best position overall, but he's only been on a 5-lap stint. We only raced under green for one of them, which means he's got effectively fresh tires over drivers here who are going to burn their stuff for the next 20 or so. So as such, I've got to say, DJ Stagner very likely has the advantage over everyone here. Just comes down to the fact of the matter that he's going to have younger rubber and more track position than the drivers behind him who are chasing. Stagner might just put himself back in the game with this one. Buchanan, he's got to keep himself in it, because alongside him now is Caleb Morrissey, hungry for a win with 10 laps fresher tire. 17 to go as we go green. Alan Kunman is now in third, the highest he's run all night long, your 20th place starter. In a wonderful position now. And perhaps chance to capitalize. Will he be better, Caleb Morrissey, in this situation? That remains to be seen, and that's a pretty high bar to set on anyone. Caleb Morrissey, of course, great when it comes to these aggressive situations. Alan Kunman also quick in the clutch. That won him a championship. And if he wants to do it again, he'll have to figure it out and fast. More than 100 laps have already gone by, but the most important is always ahead until the race is over. Pace car ducks low. Dawson Buchanan, Caleb Morrissey, Alan Kunman with the 1, 2, 3 up in front. Green flags out. Buchanan is chasing after his first ever win. Kunman gets right behind him. Morrissey the outside does not get the launch he needs. Alan Kunman rockets up top, and he's going to witness Caleb Morrissey take it down. 1, 2, 3 wide, and he'll take it down 3 lanes. New race leader, Caleb Morrissey. How about that for the Jonestown Jet, up and in front with 16 laps remaining, and an exciting way to make it happen. But if Dawson Buchanan doesn't like it, he'll try to go after him, but not until Alan Kunman goes for it himself. Allen makes the move, gets it ahead of Morrissey, and so quickly, contact, 1, 2, gone. That's Jimmy McKee among others. Another big wreck. 15 to go. It's caution number 5. Things are getting dicey. And these last laps have been moving slower. The 9 of McKee getting hit. Here's why. Jimmy was heading down the back straight. Chad Winstead clamps him, but it isn't that contact that makes the difference. It's Adam Bozzi having nowhere to go and running up into the 9. One more view. With the 27 in focus, it looks like Adam really didn't have elsewhere. And that's going to cause the caution. Taking a look up high as they come down the back. Scott Zellner there, leaning into the 27, and when they collected, Adam either has a wall or the 9, and unfortunately he ended up pushing into the 9 car. Probably not by choice. The car letting go. When you're out of control like that, you can't take it back. Nevertheless, yellow is out again, 15 laps to go. And Alan Cumming holds your race lead. 24 remain on the lead lap. Dylan Wedgwood is the last of which, and as you can see, pretty troublesome for him tonight. Still got some front end damage to account for. But he won't quit. And that's what we like to see. Diligence. And it's going to be hard, but with this race coming to its close, the more problems there are, the likelier Dylan can pick up some more spots. So here's to not quitting as Wedgwood again heads down to pit road just to get some more repairs before being put one down. We have seen tonight already that if you're persistent with going down to pit road, it will help out. Chad Winstead up 12 places, and he's got most of the scuffs off that car, which means he might be able to go out at 100% for these final 12 or so laps. That's right. It's only going to be a dozen to do it when we go green. Any caution after lap 196 will send us to our one and only overtime attempt. Alan Cumming leading his first restart of the day. Cunman low, Morrissey high. Sebastian Miller leads all those for the swamp, but that might change. DJ Stagner making up 2 in that brief run. He gets himself up to 11th from what was 13th. Not a holdout, but instead, he's got himself closer and closer with the best of both worlds. He did not go in the last pit cycle. He went in the one beforehand, and he also has position over all those he'll have to compete with. Dawson Buchanan and Tom Bourne. Let's see now what they can do. We got a lot of drivers and different strategies up in front. I mean, you look at it here. Bourne and Kendall Kerr lead those on the newest set of rubber. Then you got DJ Stagner's on his own 11-lap set. The majority of that top 10 went in about 20 laps ago. Your leader, Cunman, went in closer to 30 laps ago. He's still on top. Laps remaining. Here we go. iRacing official pace car drops to the bottom. Alan Cumming, as the sun continues to set, gets them rolling. Green flags out, 13 laps to go. Caleb Morrissey right beside the number 8. Or is he? Alan Cumming, vanishing just like that. And it looks like the number 8 of Cunman having a connection failure off the restart as Corey Blevins. Blevins going around 24 spins inside, cautions out. Yellow flag number 6. We had a 60-plus lap run in the middle of this race, and ever since that point, we have been sluggish through these laps. Contact from Tom Bourne. Luckily, it looks like Blevins will be able to get away from this one and carry on. "11 laps to go. Yeah, we have no read on McKee. Or rather, no read on Cunman. Jimmy McKee running an 18th here. We got a read on the 9 car, but the 8 looks like outright gone, and it was an internet failure off the restart. The only saving grace is if Cunman is able to return, we have a caution here, and that's going to make sure he doesn't lose as much time as he would have if we were under green. 11 laps to go, this time by coming to 10, and your 29th place qualifier, Caleb Morrissey, leads. We'll be back for the restart as we're coming toward the tail end of things, lap 116. We'll be back, and we'll restart with, I would think, 8 laps to go, if not 7. Until then, we'll give you a few messages from our friends at FTN Broadcasting. They keep the good times rolling so we can bring the action to you. Thank you for tuning in. Highline Racing League Premier Series, Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Race 2 of the season, our 20th on the road. We'll be back right after this, and you won't miss a thing. Leaders Caleb Morrissey, as we'll get ready for restart number 6.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
Eight laps to go. Caleb Morrissey and Sebastian Miller. While Morrissey has led a lap or two, Seb Miller has yet to do so. Both are looking for their first wins this season. Morrissey looking for his first of the year. The rookies, all of a sudden, no longer on that front row, and instead you got veterans who have checkered flags to their names. A great time to fight. 8 laps remain. Caleb Morrissey with a launch on the outside groove, and it's a rocket jump for the Jonestown Jet. With him is Seb Miller in the number 83, and it looks like now the inside having a little bit weaker of a launch than we've seen for most often. But, ooh, wow, Morrissey going to wiggle up high, and that quick bobble gives Seb Miller the edge. Can Sebastian make it 2 in a row for the Swamp, or can the 4 Horsemen come by? Not to mention, Hoosier Buckeye Racing, number 5 car, 5th to 3rd. But watch this, Chad Winstead down low to the apron, 3 wide for the lead. It doesn't work out for Winstead, but he will take 2nd, only for it to be taken back by Tyler Hampton. Wow, what a move from the 5 car. Hampton may be thinking he's 2 races overdue for a win. He wasn't able to get it at Daytona, nor did he do so to end season 19. But now he's back and he's got the stuff. Caleb Morrissey, all he can do now is watch as Hampton comes up the track, but he doesn't get to run off 4. 6 laps to go. And it was that minor bobble just a little bit off the corner that sets Hampton again behind Caleb Morrissey. Door to door now with the number 6. A little bit of contact. Nothing crazy. Inside is Hampton's, outside is Morrissey's. Chad Winstead is pushing hard. Oh, we got contact. Can they save it? Multiple drivers in the wall. We are staying green. There's Wedgwood in the back. You'll see, oh, contact, Kerr, destroyed. 6 laps to go. Call on the field is a yellow flag. That was a lap of chaos. Bring it back and see what happened. Starts with Zellner saving it, then Matt Muir saving it. And it looked like everyone got away, but as that was the case, Kendall Kerr in the 16 collects big contact. Watch. Kerr involved, as is Matt Muir, and the yellow flag flies. Taking a look from the entirety of the lap, Dylan Poteet also having an issue. Dylan in the 31, 15th up to 8th here. Up 7 on the day, but he does get a little bit of this contact before things get really bad. DJ Stagner got away. Corey Blevins and company saving things. Yeah, Poteet gets lucky there. I mean, you see it. He has contact, yes, but if you look on board, everyone just glides off of him. Riding with the number 31 of Poteet here. First, a little bit of skating on the inside, and then Matt Muir and Kendall Kerr dispose of each other, to put it lightly. 7th and potentially final caution of the night. As we come across the line here, of course, it looks like it is going to be the final. So we're going to have a 1-lap race extension, and this will be our last caution no matter what. If we have another caution, it will conclude the race prematurely. We will not end under green, but instead end under caution conditions. If we are able to race the rest of the way under green, so be it, and it will be as another race finish. We're going to lap 126 now, and have an expected 125. On the lead lap, 22 drivers. Tom Bourne is now the last of which, and you'll see him on pit road. It was a very promising race for Bourne, but it looks like right now, shot for winning, it's slim to none. Caleb Morrissey with the advantage, and very little time on the clock, which for him is a huge benefit. No longer does Caleb have to worry about getting across with 2 laps at the very most. He could just see it happen as trouble immediately off the line. Channel lock number 6 goes high. That's your control car. Making the call to the top side is preferential. And he will give Tom Wetmore, or rather, Tyler Hampton, the bottom here. DJ Stagner going to be racing against Tom Wetmore, and many of those in the Integrity Ignite Series on Monday night as they wrap up their round of 15 in a flagship race for the series at Darlington. The full-length Xfinity Series event will be on Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, broadcast on FTN Broadcasting. And of course, Thursday nights for now, 12 weeks after this, it's the Highline Racing League for Season 20. No stopping. It's going to be a breakless season, and it's our first on FTN with these guys. We've done no stopping. Interesting to see it play out that way. It is 1-1 from here to November, and then we take that break and end 2025, hopefully on a high note. It really will be one for one of these drivers, whoever is our eventual champion. One lap to green for Morrissey and Hampton. They're your front row. This is it. No matter what happens here, the race will end. If it's a caution, that concludes it beforehand, but we all have to get down to the checkered flag one way or another. Checkers or records. At the mercy of the field is Caleb Morrissey, your control car. We're green for the final time tonight. 2 laps to go. Morrissey's got the launch. Hampton's right beside him. Look who's in third. DJ Stagner has found a way in the clutch. Coming to the white flag, he might just be sitting on the podium, but he wants the checkered flag for himself. DJ chases after Stagner, of course, no longer. He's got Morrissey now right there. To the inside goes Tyler Hampton. Outside goes Morrissey. 3 wide for the race lead with 1 lap to go. They'll make it to the white. It's official. Just barely Caleb Morrissey edges him out. Wreck in the back. Will stay green. Tyler Hampton's got the advantage on the inside. Morrison traces up top. Now Dylan Poteet comes through. Can Dylan steal the win? Poteet gets all the way down to the bottom side. Hampton lays a block. And as he does so, Poteet washes high. There's nothing more he can do. Tyler Hampton, for the first time this year, will come to victory lane. The field wrecks behind him. No match on the restart. Hampton finally pulls through and takes the checkered flag from Las Vegas. It's his first of the year, and while he didn't dominate, he'll take 14 laps. Always a threat tonight, and the biggest threat for victory because he's the one who wins it. Hampton, winner from Las Vegas. Coming around to celebrate and burn it down. Dylan Poteet takes second, Zellner in third. Now, of course, after months, nearly 9 months of waiting, Tyler Hampton is back. Tyler Hampton goes the distance, and a long-awaited celebration, and you could tell. Hey, before we wrap it up here, do want to check out what happened with that final wreck. I mean, you see there, the 18 involved, Ty Smith, Corey Blevins also catching a piece, as does Ryan Potter and Colton Gardner. Then, looks like among others, you'll see it get really dicey at the front of the pack. 3 wide, side by side, all the way over. There's a 77 of Curtis Granger. He's not involved in it at all, but look at that. Morrissey wrecking across the line. So does Baxter. And even with the wreck, Caleb comes away with a good finish. Just goes to show. A nasty hit, and luckily these drivers are able to get away for a good performance. That happens at the very end of this race, which means less harm, less foul, but Tyler Hampton gets none of it. He's your winner tonight. Dylan Poteet comes away second, Scott Zellner in third, Chad Winstead fourth, Josh Christman fifth place on the day. Then you'll have Stagner in sixth, Caleb Morrissey in seventh, Matthew Rodriguez, Roberto Ramirez, and Dawson Buchanan wrap up the top 10. 11th down to 20th go as follows, with Bronson Stafford, who must have led the most laps on the day, finishing 11th. Jimmy McKee in 12th. 13th for Matt Muir and Seb Miller, 14th place. Ty Smith is 15th with Justin Baxter 16th. 17th goes Curtis Granger, and Dylan Wedgwood is 18th. 19th, Sean Billman. Adam Bozzi is in 20th. Down to 25th goes Corey Blevins, Colton Gardner, Tom Bourne, Kendall Kerr, and Alan Kunman with a connection failure from the lead. The 30th, Terry Brooks, Lucas Lodato, Joey Chapman, Ryan Potter, and Connor Holden. With your final drivers on the night, retirees Jacob Halm and Toby Wedgwood. We got a little bit of everything. We got a more than 50% distance stint and a green-white checkered finish. And through it all, the man who started in 5th place today was able to navigate up to the front time and time again. Never was perhaps the truest of dominating guys, but that doesn't matter because he made the right moves at the right times. For the first time this year, speaking of time, Tyler Hampton back to victory lane, a long-awaited return.
Yeah, you got that right. It's been a long time coming. Just ran horrible all last year. I mean, had a couple good runs, but just finished bad and inconsistent with this car. And I don't know if this is a sign of good things to come, but I'll definitely take it. Yeah, it feels good to get back in the win column.
Now, before we talk about the rest of the race's strategy, of course, you were able to break out on that restart, just get away from Morrissey, and it was tight. 3 wide for the lead and the wrecks behind. How did you go about it from your perspective in that 2-lap dash?
Really just, I knew wherever Caleb picked on that start, I was going to go the opposite and just try to give myself the best shot at winning. And I got up, kind of timed it good, and then was able to stay up there with him. And I was hoping Stagner was going to go with me and help push me. We worked pretty good earlier in the race till he got a black flag for speeding, and he jumped up. And I thought, well, when he made it 3 wide, I figured I'll just hold this bottom and hold it wide open for 2 laps and see, make the best out of it. And I don't know who pushed me there at the end. I think it was Poteet, and but with us running 3 wide, it kind of just stalled all 3 of us out. And really, whoever Poteet went with was going to win, and he just chose me and was able to get it done.
Those final 2 laps, I mean, the fact that we got not only that green-white checker, but the long runs to begin this race felt like 2 completely different events with that in mind. Tire wear seemed to be the big point of conversation, or of course, point of racing for you guys, the most important thing to keep out for the better part of 100 laps. We saw a significant tire fall off. Were you feeling anything different in the car as the race progressed?
Yeah, I mean, as it went on, I mean, the car would get tighter. And, under that first caution, actually, me and Stagner stayed out and was kind of banking on another quick caution and then pit and have a little bit better tires, but it never did. And when the pit cycles cycled through, I was able to get the lead back, but my tires were starting to fall off and they was catching me. And I was like, man, I need a yellow pretty bad. And about 2 laps later, I got one, and that put me right back in the hunt for the race. But there at the end, really, on that long stint, the last probably 15, 18 laps, I was running within a tenth of what the leaders are running. So, I mean, it had a big fall off there at the middle, but at the end, they kind of evened out.
And of course, didn't see as much opportunity for that tire wear in the final 25 or so lap stretch. First win not only for yourself, but for the team here. Hoosier Buckeye Racing finally back on top, and this is massive momentum. Now, to begin things, of course, this season with the win, especially how season 19 went, a huge deal. Next up on the calendar after this, we're going short track racing, which was the site of your most successful race last season, even if it didn't finish your way. So how do you feel about that?
Feel pretty good. Short tracks kind of fit my style, but these cars are, kind of hard. Just no matter where you go, it's almost like plate racing on any surface that we go to. So it's going to make it a little difficult, a little tricky to pass. But I'm excited to see what next week brings, and we'll see if we can at least not get another win, get another top 5, and keep the momentum rolling.
Finally back where this team, I'm sure, expected to be last season. It's here and it's now. Tyler Hampton and the 5 crew are winners again from Las Vegas. Any final comments you'd like to leave? It's all yours.
Yeah, I just want to thank Corey and Jim at Hoosier Buckeye. Jim had a wedding rehearsal tonight, so he missed tonight out, but I've been texting him throughout the race, and he was watching, of course. And thank you for everything you do in the booth and everybody that puts this on, and I'll see you guys next week.
Tyler Hampton finishing it off, starting 5th and getting up to P1. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Tyler Hampton's had that one coming without a doubt. But you know who really shocked us on the podium today? Dylan Poteet. And look at the numbers on the bottom of your screen. He was everywhere, and he had his time from the back of the field all the way up front. Starting in the mid-pack tonight, and until the white flag lap, the highest spot you would run in, Dylan, was 4th place. You were able to gain 2 more and nearly take the whole show by storm. With a win tonight, it just barely eludes you.
I guess I should be happy that I finished this one and not getting wrecked there on the last lap, but trying to be positive about the second, but just the end of that race really just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm just kind of disappointed. Unfortunately, we had a good race going and just kind of went to the side there at the end, but I'm glad to get a second place. I think I needed to get a little bit of a push there down the backstretch if I could have sooner. I appreciate Sebi giving me the push to attempt to help me get there, but I just couldn't get to the inside of the 5, and we were just kind of there. I knew he was going to ride the bottom lane, which he should have, and never lifted those last 2 laps, and just almost had it. I mean, I guess I should be happy to finish this week, get a good finish, get a top 5 on a non-super speedway, which I'll be more happy about probably tomorrow. But all in all, it was a good day for the Ream Machine, for Hula Monkey, and yeah, I mean, maybe hopefully it's build some positive momentum going into next week. And yeah, got knocked around all during the race, had wheel damage, and had to get off strategy. Just took tires late and tried something different. Just somehow survived the wrecks there and wound up second somehow.
And it was all about survival with all those final wrecks. I mean, we saw it back and forth, big trouble. You were even sort of involved in one of them, but things went exactly your way in getting out, even with some contact there. So, short runs seem to be the best for this team, you'd think?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I think we had a couple of guys. I think Bronson and Tom were in good position there for a while before the yellow. But we just, like I said, once the yellow happened, the strategy kind of flipped, and then I think a lot of us just were trying to save our last set of tires, and it just a lot of agendas changed. Honestly, I think for everybody, and it was just kind of just what you thought was best. So I thought we were in better position. Well, at least they were long run. I kind of had to take tires and pit earlier than a lot of people just to get back in the front pack because I lost the draft. Never thought I would say that at Las Vegas, but um, just had to do something different and just kind of methodically worked my way through there. And the wreck off 4 with Mir and Kendall, I have no idea what happened, and I don't know how I didn't spin with them. No clue. And I hate it for Matt that he got wrecked there, but I don't know. We were just checking up from a almost wreck before that, and just I don't know if there's anything I could have done. But yeah, I'm hoping that we're not a short run team. I hope we're going to be good on long runs, and I'm going to have to get better myself at managing my tires and stuff. We were just kind of trying to do that, just riding around the pack, and it's going to be something that's going to help me get better overall. And it's just something I just have to just practice and perfect, I guess, going forward. But at least I had a shot this week. Last week I did too, just super speedway racing. Of course, that's just how it is. But this week, I mean, it's nice to get on a non-super speedway, run up there, and at least get a good finish.
And one of the best intermediate finishes for you, of course, in these last several seasons, and starting this season off outside the plate tracks real well. Until we go short track racing, though, Dylan, if you got anything else you'd like to leave us with, we would love to hear it.
I just want to say thanks to everything you guys do here and for the broadcast team. Thanks to everybody watching. Thanks to everybody at Hula Monkey for the opportunity. And like I said, just trying to grow on this as a team to see what we're doing. Just thanks for everything Adam, everybody else does here to keep this going. Like I said, I try not to be a negative Nancy. I just was just extremely disappointed as how things ended, but it was just a product of what we had tonight, and we'll just move on from this. And I'll be more happier tomorrow for the second. I'm just looking forward to moving on to the next race.
Now, looking to build up those points and a great result to start that effort. Dylan Poteet, P2 on the day. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks. Thank you again, David.
Dylan Poteet, P2. Third place is Scott Zellner, and much as we've seen him season after season, he finds his way to the podium circle often, and now he's gone 50-50 in season 20. Scott's first podium coming by way of a chaotic race where everyone was up and down, and it looks like you were able to pull one extra position from where you were just before the green-white checkered. You took it up to the podium.
Yeah, I saw the 83 took a real um, real deep line into 3, and he ended up wiping out the field on that last lap. So kind of saw that coming. I just lifted and just drove underneath it all. I'm glad nobody shot back down the track, or else I would have been involved. But kind of surprised I'm sitting here talking to you because I tried to do a fuel strategy where I pitted under the first yellow, and then nobody else really falled off with these tires in this car. So I thought I was really screwed there. So I needed that first caution to come out towards the end of the race, but didn't need 5 or 6 in a row.
Now today, it looks like, of course, we got ourselves multiple races, and you found yourself in many a place. Qualifying 10th, the numbers show you were all the way down to the back of the field as low as 26th. Hard to escape the chaos, I would say. So what was it like for you when it comes to strategy and just keeping yourself clean?
Well, it was a little bit of a bonehead move to try to make a strategy call that put me back in the mid 20s. Kind of just got lucky with the yellows coming out towards the end. I tried to just put myself in the best position possible. It's really hard with these cars. Like, you can't, even if you're better than the guy in front of you, you can't make a pass. You need the draft. And if you try to make a pass on somebody, even though you're faster and guys stack up behind you, then you're going to lose spots. So it's kind of just a balancing act of trying to hold your position, trying to make moves when you possibly can, and avoiding the carnage there. I figured the ending was going to be pretty rough when we got yellows towards the end, just because you can't get away from anybody around you. Everybody's just under a blanket.
And we see this intermediate package tight as ever, and it's even going to be tighter when we go racing next week. If you thought it was close here, most likely going to be even closer at a short track circuit. So with that in mind, we saw big tire wear tonight. I'm not sure which track we're going to just yet, but what are you expecting to see that you got to keep in mind for next week?
Avoid the chaos, avoid the carnage. This league is not known for running clean short track races, so we're just going to hunker down, try to be at the front of the field, and try to avoid the mess.
Avoiding the chaos is a pretty fitting way to put it, and it looks like tonight that got you all the way back up for your first podium of the season. Scott Zellner, third on the day. Anything else you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, as always, thanks to all my teammates at Four Horsemen. Welcome aboard Jimmy this season. Glad we could acquire him. I'm really bummed for Caleb. I thought he had a really good chance to win there. And Scott had a prior commitment tonight, but thanks to FTN for putting this series on. Thanks to ASC Services and Supplies for sponsoring the league this season. 20 years of Highline. It's hard to believe that it's come and gone. Thanks to my family that watches every week, and we'll see y'all next time at a short track.
Four Horsemen Racing sees twin top 10s tonight and a top 5 effort that takes it up to third. Scott Zellner, thank you again for being here.
Thanks, David.
Zellner, third place. I mean, the numbers show it was pretty chaotic for those third and second place guys. Zellner, he went from as low as 26 to where he finished in third. Dylan Poteet as low as 22nd to where he finished in second. And Tyler Hampton as low as 24th to where he ended up being victory lane as your winner. Race 2 of the season has come and gone, and have you noticed the trend? We're only going to smaller and smaller and smaller tracks. That's going to continue when we go racing once again. Tomorrow will not be the day, but next Thursday, absolutely. Stay tuned on Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern as the Highline Racing League heads to a short track for its third race of the season. Until then, I've been your host, David Kreutz, commentating and producing. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the stream and, of course, subscribe to the channel. Your support is thoroughly appreciated. Congratulations to Tyler Hampton on the major win for that team. Hoosier Buckeye gets their first of the year, and we'll be back for our next broadcast Monday night with the Integrity Ignite Series. They'll be racing at Darlington. We hope to see you there, but if not, stick around for another race in the Highline Racing League Premier Series brought to you by ASC Services and Supply. From FTN Broadcasting, we hope you have a fantastic night.